Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to PowerF1 Pro series. As you can see, you can't see anything. Let me just quickly fix that. As I had a full reset of my PC recently, so I need to set up everything on short notice. So anyways, here we are in Qatar, around 11 of 16 or 17 I believe. So we are already more than halfway through. We have 12 drivers tonight. I see two drivers from Challenger tier, as one just left down below. Yesterday's race was quite exciting, or not. Depends on how you want to look at it. I will just make sure that the settings look a bit better. You know, the usual. So let's just put that in. Put the FPS down for more performance. Confirm. The game didn't crash, that's good. Just cool. It's working. So here we go. We see Gummerby starting his hot lap. Benjo already on a hot lap. Let's get the telemetry, lap data, full track map. Perfect. I believe it's Casito, the first one to finish a hot lap. Has been a while since I was last here. Last week, family reasons why I couldn't. Even though it was announced, I'm sorry about that. But yeah. As we are watching Casito having a purple second sector. Coming to the final corner now. To the only DRS zone we have on this track. And as you can see, we have a 22 flat and a deployment overused. Now we have a 21 flat from Benjo. Further back is Gamabi now, the next one to cross the line, who also has deployment overused. So you see the track is not optimized at all, being 21-3. P2 at the moment. Watching JTK. As he now also comes around the final corner with 8% left. And gets a 29 provisional pole. Behind him is James Taylor starting a lap now. Dixie also starting, and I see McLaren, it's Rocco, who is now finishing his fast lap. He gets 1:21.3, that is P4 at the moment. The Haas is coming in. Behind him is Benjo, who is also coming in with no fuel. Next one is not James, but Persegili. To cross the line, also having deployment overused, having a 1:21.1, good enough for P3. Next up is not gonna be, but not Cosmonauts, but Roy, who is starting his hot lap. So let's check into James Taylor, whose lap is the next one to be counted. Having a 21 flat, just barely coming in front of his teammate, but barely not enough to overtake Banjo for P2. Then we have Tixie, absolutely smashing the timing boards with a 26. As Rocco is coming in after invalidating. Let me get that chat open. Can I pop it out? Hell yeah! Open the Pro Tier chat as well. Okay, now what we got? JTK got himself into P2. Wait, no, he was provisional. Let's see. I believe it's Cosmonauts who's now coming to the finishing line. 22-3. That is P9 at the moment. And 3 drivers still haven't put in a single lap. I think I see Rickety coming out. He is. Let's watch him for the time being. My guy is ill and still decides to drive. What an absolute mad lad. But Casito's on a hard lap again, so let's stick with him for now. Also, can anyone tell me if there's any performance issues with the stream or something? Like dropped frames or some stuff? And also if the volume is good and stuff, I forgot completely to say that. While we are in with Casito still, who is now in the third sector, coming around the corners that you can basically take flat out if you do it right. And this corner, you could technically, but it's very hard to manage. Around the final corner now, onto the final straight, with the only DRS zone. And Casito has a 121.7, improved by 3 tenths, but is only P8 at the moment. Behind him is Benjo, who does not improve and stays P3 at the moment. Further back I see not James but Gamma B, now coming around the final corner. Already deployment overuse, so that's definitely not healthy, but he gets 3 times up with a 21 flat. P5. As we have yellow. Is it Roy? Yes. Roy possibly spun around the final corner. Behind him now, Rocco, starting his next hot lap. And behind Rocco is Rickety, who is finishing his hot lap and gets P9 with a 22.3. Holy moly. The times between P2 and P5 are in 1/10. Actually mad. has banjoritized in the pits. He said that's good enough. Or maybe some troubleshooting. As we have cosmonauts now trying again his hot lap. But first of all, Rocco, who's coming in, who invalidated it seems. Back to cosmonauts we go then. Using all the revs he's got in his engine. But not too hard on off-roll to offset the car, which can be very easy with slightly oversteery setup, and that's invalidated. And we have James coming into P2 with a 28. Good for front row, not good enough for pole position. Tixie, currently improving by 1/10, as if his provisional pole wasn't good enough. Around the final corner. What time will we see? I say it's a 25. And it is indeed a 25. Behind him is the other Mercedes now, who is improving by 2/10 currently. And sets a 27 and improves by almost 4/10 into P2. But still not enough for provisional pole. I see a Ferrari now coming in, improving by 100ths. Improves by 500ths, 29, P4. We have 4 minutes on the clock. And I see an AlphaTauri. Well, still at the moment to be named AlphaTauri, next year something different, nobody knows. Also Roy, both of them on outlap right at the moment. And the other three that are out are currently in an in-lap or cooldown lap. Theoretically, they could still make another lap. But they have to be quick about it. So anyways, with Jan we go. Starting his possibly final run, and only. Early on the throttle, very tight apex. Just barely in the lines. Talking about the lines, this track is horrible. Considering the lines. Sometimes they just don't make any sense. And I'm quite sure everyone agrees. As we have a slide from Jan at the moment. In the second sector, holding on to it and continuing like it's nothing. Going full throttle around these corners. Into the final corner we go. no deployment left over. And Jan sets in a 1.21.5. This is good enough for P8. Don't forget, it's a challenger driver. Let's check. Cosmo also should be the next one, or is it Roy? Rocco just started. Rickety is on an outlap. And Roy has invalidated. So this is his final run now. We see he has 80%, so he has charged over the last lap. To Cosmonaut we go, who is crossing the line now, improving by 7 tanks currently. Impressive stuff, a 120, a 1.4, good enough for B8, just barely overtaking. Okay, not barely, but overtaking Jan. As we have Rocco, not Rickety, starting his lap, and I see Has starting his lap. Yeah, it's Tixie. Then we have one Mercedes also starting his final run. And AlphaTauri coming in. Behind him is Rocco, currently improving by 2 tenths. Sets in a 1.21.1. Enough for P7 at the moment. A lot of cars behind him. I need to catch who is next, as everyone is out currently, except Benjo, Jan and Roy. And Roy is coming into the pits. Next one will be Cosmonaut, who is not on a lap at the moment, which means Rickety is next up, improving by 4 tenths at the moment. DRS wide open to the finish line. We have a 1.21.7 improving by almost 6 tenths, P10 at the moment. Then we have Tixie once again smashing the timing table. And one Mercedes coming in, Persegili still out. I believe it's Cosmonaut who's next, with no fuel. Then it will be Persegili who's next, improving by 800 at the moment. Crossing the line. He did not... Well, he did improve, but it's not enough to contest pole position. Casito crossed the line. Then we have Rocco now, with no fuel, just crossing the line. JTK into the pits, and that's it. That is the quali result. Tixie pole position by 2 whole tenths. Not tenths. 200s. Both Mercedes right behind him. Then we have the Ferrari of JTK. Benjo Gamma B, Rocco Casito, Cosmonaut Jan, Rickety and Roy. So many R's, my lord. So, this track tends to use way too much fuel, and it's recommended to put in at least 3 laps of extra fuel. It sounds a lot, it is a lot, and with safety car, 2.5 laps of extra fuel is barely enough. So here we have the results again, for all of you to see, like Tixie is looking at us. And Roy having an impressive 1:32.7, 12 seconds off. And there's still the 107% rule. But we can gladly ignore that, because track limits. We have short qualifying, so well, that's the grid. I would like to get some water, to be honest, but no time for that. As we are seeing sort of the last preparations for the race, everyone putting in their strategy, everyone putting in their fuel, everyone putting on their tires to start with. Yesterday it was pretty unequal, we had lots of mediums, hards and softs. So let's see. Best call is the hard medium, at least if there's no safety car. If there is a safety car, depends on when, of course. But let's see. And I am kind of concerned about the time we are waiting. Like, it still says waiting for players. Should I run down and get some water? Well, no time for that, because we have 3, 4, 5 red lights. And let the engines just go to the limit. We see absolutely nothing because the angle sucks. There we have Tixi, both Mercedes, and Banjo contesting the first Mercedes, and we have a bit of contact further back between the Alpine and the Alfa Romeo driver. We already have a lot of position swaps, as we are watching Gamma B at the moment, who is contesting the car of Persegili. Rocco right behind him, as well as Jan. No spins or crashes so far. I hope I don't jinx it just now. We have a lot of different tires. Most are on hards it seems. We can check that. Most drivers are indeed on hards, as we have James on mediums to fit the Mercedes strategy. As we have actually a pretty beautiful angle to see all the drivers just passing. But not to see any fights. As we have slowly forming a gap between James and Tixi. But James really sticking to the rear. As we have yellows, it's a Haas of Casito, so Tixi's teammate is already getting dropped now. As we see James trying to get a move done. Side by side they are. Let's watch from Persegili's perspective, as we have no contact into the first corner. Both giving each other just enough space, a bit of contact, nothing major. Still side by side they go. We're just slowly but surely giving the opportunity to the other drivers behind. And James made the move stick. As we have a retirement of Casito. Do we have a full core safety car? We have a full core safety car, ladies and gentlemen. As it stands, we have James in first, Tixi in second, Persegili in third. Nothing really changed there. But we have Gamma B in P4, Jan in P5. Don't forget, he's still a challenger driver. And Casito is complaining about a screen freeze. So it seems his game decided to give up. So we have ongoing Rocco, Banjo dropping quite a bit. But not as much as JTK did with 4 positions down. Cosmonauts dropping 2, but Roy and Rickety gaining 2. Current winner is Jan. So as we have the safety car phase now, let me grab some water real quick. So, I don't believe I have missed anything. As it stands, we are behind the safety car. We have a sandwich of Tixie from the Mercedes drivers. James is looking in good condition with his medium tires, but he does need to pit earlier. Or if he is going for the medium soft strategy, he will be out longer than the hards. So yeah, here we have the grid. 1 DNF at the moment. Let's see if the safety car will be in this lap. What do we want? Actually, nothing anymore. Definitely watch out for the penalties later on, because that will be a thing. And we will have another lap of the safety car. So, one more lap to talk about something. I wish I had a co-commentator at the moment to talk about something, but I don't. I can check the stream performance at the moment. Okay. So, I believe you remember that my PC did quite a lot of things. For example, crashing when being in F1. And I also had problems streaming. And I recently did a BIOS update, and now it seems every problem I had is gone. And, well, that's not only good for me, but that's also good for you, because I can now stream in max quality for you. Yay! And yes, I am kind of running out of ideas to talk about. And, what is going on between Yan and the group? As we have hardcore weaving of cosmonauts further back. That's some dedication. Why is he so much on the right? Maybe he's cooling his engine off because overheating engines is actually a thing on this track. Driving for way too long behind someone is actually literally killing all the power you have. And we have safety car in this lap, so the field will be backing up now, and I hope it won't be as hard as yesterday. As we have heavy weaving from everyone to get the temps into the tires. And a very slow start, I believe. James is leading right now. So let's watch it with the HUD completely turned off. So when does he go? Does he go now? Does he go in front of the line? Does he go just out of nowhere now? Tixie is sticking just behind him. As he is weaving again. He doesn't have much time left anymore. As the line is already there. And away he goes. So we see Jan trying to make a move. As we have Jan dropping from Rocco, I believe, as I don't get a great angle. As we can see them here. Watching from Benjo's perspective now. And Rocco does come out in front. As Benjo is looking for a move. Side by side? Not anymore. And also JTK trying to use that little mistake. A bit of tap on the rear of Jan from Benjo. as we see already gap forming between James and Tixie. As Rocco gets a 3-second time penalty, as he had to correct a massive moment from him, which will be crucial for the points, as we just had a safety car restart, so everyone is close by. Watching in front now, or actually further back, Roy seeing a possibility on JTK. And watching now, it's still very tight between P3 and P9, and the DRS train is about to start. Going a bit further in front, watching Jan and Benjo. Are they side by side? Yes, they are. Bit of contact, and that's a spin. Whoa! That was a close call. Too close for comfort. Now, the question is, who was at fault? As we also have a spin from JTK. And Persigili getting overtaken by Rocco, who is now up into P4. And Gamma B now also getting a time penalty for track limits. To the front we go. Tixie is not easy to get off the hook. Behind Tixie, currently a 1.4 second gap to Gamma B. So no DRS for him. Checking in with Roy, who is getting really close to Jan now. And Rickety getting really close to Roy. And Jan getting wide there. As we have a three-way battle for P6 at the moment. Soft, medium, hard tires. And Jan does not have DRS. Which means... will he get overtaken by 2? And Rickety! Trying to overtake both in one sector. A bit of contact. And Jan losing out to both. The DRS is so powerful on that single straight as everyone has a high downforce setup. As Persigili is also in striking distance of Roy now, which makes it a four-way battle as well. And Tixie is currently slightly losing out to James, which is obviously not what he wants. As Roy is getting ever so slightly closer to Persigili now, does he have damage? It doesn't seem to be. Maybe it's just a tire difference. As the DRS is wide open. And a rather easy pass, and Rickety takes a chance as well. And Jan now really close to Persegili. Jan is going for a maybe move. He is going for a move, and Persegili is backing out. Is Persegili thinking the tires will drop off soon? So he just waits? Or is there maybe a major issue? We do not know. So to Rocco we go now, who's having a fight with Gamma B now. Getting closer and closer in the third sector. As we see Gamma B going wide. And Rocco trying to go for the outside, but Gamma B closed him off. DRS wide open. And with the DRS, a rather easy pass. But now Rocco has to escape the DRS from Gamma B. As we have further back. Now Cosmonaut's overtaking Persegili. What is going on? Something is definitely not right. So back to the front we go. As the closest gap at the moment is Rocco versus Gamma B. Though the grip is increasing, as Rocco has proven already that the third sector is his strong point. As I say it, he is having a moment. And that's not the third, but the second sector. As Gamma B gets another 3-second time penalty, which means he should have 6 at the moment. And that is indeed true. So as long as Rocco is in 6 seconds of Gamma B, when Gamma B overtakes... Hold on. What did I just miss? Rocco was... not Rocco, Tixie was trying to make a move, and we missed that. Free JTK, justice for my man. Yeah, JTK is not having a great race at the moment. As we have a battle for P1 at the moment, and a battle for P6, Jan versus Rickety, once again. And Gamma B also closing into Rocco now, and Jan getting a 3-second time penalty, meaning Rickety doesn't have to worry as much anymore. Though Rickety still can get ahead of Gamma B because of penalties, as Rocco at the moment, which means he will get overtaken by Gamma B now. And further back now, Benjo overtaking Persegili. And Persegili in the pits. And he did had front wing damage, which explains the slow pace of him. He is now really need to hope for a safety car right now. Or maybe a bit later. So back to the front we go. We have now Roy Also seeing a chance to overtake Rocco, maybe his teammate, looking for P3 at the moment. And Jan looking for a chance on Riggedy later on. And JTK getting a penalty. So back to Tixie and James we go, as Tixie will have DRS. And he is going for a move, as he gets an easy pass and breaks a bit earlier than James would like to see. And something I have missed here. As we have a total of, I believe it's 15 seconds worth of penalties? Should be, as we have Rocco really close to Gamma B now. But Roy now coming in, which might result in a double overtake we have seen from Rickety already. As Rocco gets closer and closer to the rear of Gamma B. He has less than 30% of ERS left at the moment, and having a slight moment, we need to go a bit off. As I don't see Roy because he's in the pits. And there we have the overtake from Rocco. And Benjo also coming in, but not the Ferrari. Back to the front we go. And JTK getting another penalty. And Persegili is having the fastest lap, which shows he did have been compromised before. Which also means that he should be able to get back into the points soon. I have a slight feeling that round about the end of the race we will have a lot of battles once again, like usual. As we see James coming in. What tire will he go on? It's the hard tire, and no clue if that was legal, but we saw an Alpine coming in, as well as an AlphaTauri. Coming out in P5, maybe P6 because of the other Alpine. Nope. But Roy is now ahead of his teammate. Currently we have a double McLaren podium. Where have I seen this before? Though Rickety still needs to come in for his stop. And currently no real battles going on. As now Tixie is coming in. It's 15 laps to go. No, 14, I'm sorry. And as well as the McLaren, Which means, for now, Rickety is leading the race. The king is back on his place. So anyways, where is Tixie coming out? He will be overtaken by the Ferrari. He might be overtaken by the... Oh, it's close. It's really close. But James is in front. It seems the early pit stop had paid off. But these are the hard tires, these are the medium tires. He needs to let Tixie behind him all the time until the tires are dropping off. Otherwise, he is not looking for the win at the moment. As JTK is in P2 now, and he will be chased by possibly everyone behind, as he is on 15 lap old hards. He might be going for a hard soft run. Rickety as well. As we see the Mercedes now really closing in and the Rickety coming in. JTK is fighting James off, as he is coming in now. Rickety getting on the mediums. What about JTK? As Roy absolutely gained, who's now really close to the other two. Where did he start again? That last. What a performance of him. Let's stick with him for now. As I actually see Rickety close to Persigili. But there's a lot going on even. Now with temperature in the tires, the mediums are quicker, but that won't be for too long. Once he hits 20%, these tires will be equal, and then it's all about pace again. So, the air is wide open. As for Roy, is he going for a move? He's on the inside. And makes the move stick. Roy, still a good bit behind them, but he is there, and he's waiting. As James has the challenge now to stick in 1 second from Tixie. Otherwise, he cannot look for the win. Further back we have Cosmonauts, who is looking to get a move on Benjamin. Gamma B, Rocco and Jan, the only ones with a penalty at the moment. And JTK. I rate the race out of 10. Currently, it's a solid 6. And I just saw something horrible. I'll explain it later.
Oh, horrible. That is horrible. That's not.
So, my dad just came in. Say hi, Dad!
Bye.
Oh, bye, whatever. So, jokes aside, my dad got a new costume. for the upcoming Oktoberfest. And I'm kind of ashamed that I just saw it, but yeah, whatever. Back to the race. James is out of the second, though he's still coming in and out, so it's not for sure yet. Or is it? And it is for sure, James is out of the second. Which doesn't give Roy a chance, as I just wanted to say it. Am I cursing some people here now or what? As I actually see Rickety closing into Cosmonauts. As we have both McLarens at the moment close to the car in front of them. And Rickety is looking. And he's waiting for a chance to overtake. As it's really close to the bumper of Cosmonauts. Watching from Cosmonauts' perspective, how Rickety is always closing in really fast. And JTK and also Rocco got another 3-second time penalty. Now, Rickety has a chance to make an easy overtake, as the DRS is just way too strong, and there he goes. Now in front of Cosmonauts, he is already pulling the gap and closing into Jan. Next up on the list. As Jan might be a bit over opportunistic, as James now gets a 3-second time penalty and Gamma B, which is crucial for him, and that means that Tixie now has a 5-second gap. And Jan now going to make a move, most likely. And Rickety from further back might as well try it. There he goes. And there's Rickety, who is not going yet. And Jan now in P6 with a penalty still. As we have a three-way battle at the moment. These are the penalties at the moment. They change quite a bit. We have 9 seconds for Gabi and Rocco and JTK, and 3 seconds for James, Roy, Jan, and that's it. What is that camera angle? Holy moly. Did not expect that. as Yan to correct multiple times there just now. And Roy making a move on James now. Gaining 10 positions currently. And there we have a double, not a double, but 2 overtakes in total on Yan from Benjo and Rickety. Now it's Rickety's turn to get ahead of both of them. But it seems like Benjo's actually pulling a bit away. Other medium tires are dropping. If that's the case, with 6 laps to go at the moment, that means Tixie might not win anymore, even with this 3-second penalty of both Roy and James. As we see that the straight isn't long enough for Rickety to make a move on Benjo. And the gap between Roy and Tixie actually dropping quite a bit in 2 sectors now, 4/10s, F400s. No, wait. Yeah, no, yeah, sorry, 4/10s it was. My brain is not braining. So let's go back to the front with James and Roy, who are now coming to the straight. With the DRS open, can he make a move now? And it really seems like he can. There he goes. And once again, that's an easy DRS pass. Let's see here. Nothing about these 3. Now on board with Roy for the next few minutes. Watching if he can keep up with James and Tixie. As Roy is still in the second to get the DRS of James. Is the straight enough for him to overtake? It is not. So, 3.5 laps to go. We see Roy closing in a good amount to James, which could mean that in the upcoming DRS zone, he might get the overtake done. And he is not trying yet. It's 3 laps to go. Both of them have a 3-second time penalty. As long as Roy is keeping it clean, he is looking for P2 with a last minute move later on. And I do not have any water left, and my throat is sort of drying out. So, the tires are the following. Particularly on the oldest mediums I have ever seen. And everyone on a one-stop strategy. Positions gained and lost. Obviously, yeah, Roy is backing off, as you can hear it. He is just waiting to see the 10 positions gained at the end of the race. James gaining 1 position, Gamma B 2, Rocco 2, Banjo dropping by 1, Rickety gaining 4, Jan getting 2, as a challenger driver, in front of Persegili, Cosmonauts, JTK, and a slight moment from Roy. So let's put that away for now. And we see Rocco getting pretty close to Gamma B. Once again. Maybe looking for a move. As after Tixie crosses the line, it will be the final lap. One last time, a chance to make an overtake. Going into Roy, who is going for the outside. A bit of contact. The wheel is still there, not anymore. Roy wants the 2nd place, and he's fighting for it. He won't back out now. He's committed. Like a racing driver should. And James knows that. He will fight off every attack that comes to him. It's one last sector to go. It's Roy versus James. Tixie currently leading. One last corner. James going super wide. Roy wants to get that position now. You have one straight. James again going super wide. And Tixie winning the Qatar GP. James P2, Roy P3 really close. Further back we have a bit of contact across the line. Out in front we have Gamma B, but the penalties are still kicking in as Rakiti is P11. I sort of missed that. Only 400s between Rocco and Gamma B. Holy. Jan P7. And Rakiti finally crossing the line. Roy getting driver of the day. Deserved, to be honest. Like, coming from P12 to P3, as we see Tixie with his flag. I believe it's his flag. Holding the trophy, winning the Qatar GP. Alongside is Roy and James. Wait, Roy is on the P2. Hold on. James got a last corner penalty. Which means the standings are... No, the race result is Tixie, Roy, James, Banjo coming out in front because of penalties from Gamma B, Rocco, Jan, Cosmonauts, the Challenger drivers, Percy, Rickety, and Casito DNF. As for the race director, quickly going through it just in case. And that's it. To the commentary box we go. And top 3. Do you want an interview? James says sure. Waiting for Tixie right now. As we are going by the order, as James is already into interview. Tixie is not in for an interview, which means I will get a Roy in now. Move to comms. Hey Roy.
Hey.
So talk us through your absolute shoot from last on the grid to P2.
Yeah, well, I don't know how I did it, but I did it. The undercut was pretty good to get me with the leaders, and then Tixie was faster than James Taylor, so yeah. We just fell off about 2 seconds to Tixie, and then the gap was 2 seconds for a long time, and yeah, I tried to get past James Taylor, but then he was bad at the game and got a 3-second penalty in the last, at the third to last corner. So yeah, that was pretty good.
You got really lucky with the penalties at the end, but on the other hand, it was a mistake from James, so things like that obviously happens, but it's not, you know, it's not pleasant for the driver whose fault it is.
No.
A bit of...
But yeah, but I also made a mistake on the second, like the penultimate lap. So I was within 7/10 of him when when we went on to the last lap. And if I was within the 4/10 that I was every other lap, I was within 4/10. I could have just driven past him easily. But because I was so far back, I tried to make a move, but he defended the inside, and I couldn't go around the outside.
We have seen that. Everyone have seen that, and it was a good. It would have been a good move, but the defense of James is just immense.
I did it to Rickety early in the race. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And what do you say about the incident with the safety car? Did it help, or was it making it worse?
What incident?
Where Casito had a screen freeze, aka the steering wheel failed.
I think it helped me because the gap got closed. Yeah.
Well, with that, I have nothing to ask anymore, except have a good evening and enjoy the champagne.
Yeah, thanks.
Well then, see you next week.
Yeah, see you.
So let's get James in. James, unfortunate ending there with the last corner penalty.
Yeah.
But
I
I
went off track and it gave me 3 warnings in like 2 corners, so I just gave up at the end. Oh well.
So apart from that unfortunate event at the end, talk us through the entire race, especially the fight with Tixie and the different strategies both of you had.
Yeah. Well, before the start of the race, I accidentally pressed the wrong button and chose mediums. I was supposed to start on the hards and go mediums, but yeah, well, there's nothing I could do there. Safety car even made it worse. So, yeah, I don't know. Not really a good race for me, I don't think.
But in the end, you still got a podium. If we may ask, what happened with your teammate? We saw he was having a terrible pace, and once he went into the pits, we saw he had front wing damage, even though it didn't really show.
Yeah, he missed his braking point and hit the back of Tixie, I think. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, nothing else for that. Yep.
Well, you already told us that the safety car made your misinput even worse.
Yeah.
But let's be real here. You still kept up with Tixie quite a fair bit, even though you had a slower tire. And in the end, it wasn't even 1.5 seconds. So if the race would have been longer, you could have won that if Roy, he was still there.
Yeah. Well, if I didn't have, I had a 3 second as well. Tixie didn't get any penalties, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, with that, thanks for joining in, and enjoy the champagne and have a good evening.
Yeah, see you.
See ya. So with that, that's the race tonight. For next week, for Pro Series, I don't know who will be able to commentate, because I will not, as it's my birthday actually. But apart from that, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed tonight's race, even though I must admit I did not find it that exciting, only at the beginning. And I wish all of you also a good evening, good morning,